Herkese merhabalar. Ben Birleşik Krallık Üniversiteler Temsilciliği SIUK Türkiye'den Rabia. Bugün Aberystwyth Üniversitesi'nin temsilcisi Jack'le beraber aslında size üniversitenin hem burs imkanları hem de kampüs olanakları ve Galler bölgesinde yer alan bu üniversite hakkında tüm detayları görüşüyor ve konuşuyor olacağız. Bu webinar boyunca ilk olarak temsilcimiz sunumumuzu gerçekleştirecek. Devamında da bir soru cevap session yapacağız. O yüzden sunum esnasında istediğiniz gibi soracağınız soruları chat box'tan gönderebilirsiniz. Sunum tamamlandıktan sonra da soru cevap sekmesine geçiyor olacağız. Jack'i alabiliriz. Hello Jack, welcome.
Hi Rabia, hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. What about you?
Yes, I'm doing very well, thank you. And hello, merhaba to everybody on the call.
Great. Please feel free to send your questions via chat box. After the presentation, we will be replying all of them. So we can start.
Excellent. Well, hello again to everybody. My name is Jack. I am the regional manager for Turkey here at Aberystwyth University in the UK. Very pleased to be presenting this webinar alongside the amazing SIUK team. I was lucky enough to be visiting Turkey again last month and meeting with the team at their events across Izmir, Ankara and Istanbul. So very pleased to be presenting to you today alongside the team. And first things first, I will just talk about how to say the name of the university, because when you first look at the name, you think it might be quite hard to say, and you might have been picking up listening to how I was saying it there. You'll hear me say Aber a lot, just shortening the name to Aber, as that's what it's most often called. But to say the full name, you can think of it as Aberystwyth. Aberystwyth. Yeah, so not too hard once you hear it properly. But yes, I'm very happy to speak to you about the university today. Aberystwyth is a beautiful place. I've been living here and working at the university for just over 4 years now, and I'm excited to tell you more and see if it might be the right university option for you in the UK. So today we're going to go through some slides, firstly about why you should select Aberystwyth University amongst the many options across the UK and worldwide. Lots of universities to choose from. Why do we stand out? I'll give you some information on who we are as a university and exactly where we're located in the UK, how you can travel to us from your home in Turkey. We're a campus-based university, so I will show you what our campus looks like, and that ties in with our accommodation, the student housing, and a very exciting scholarship we have with student housing. I'll talk about student life, what there is to do here in Aberystwyth, but importantly, how we support you as students. Then we will look at our range of subject areas. What do we teach at the university from foundation to bachelor's to postgraduate and research level? We'll of course look at the financial side of studying here at Aber, your tuition fees and further discounts and scholarships that might be available to you as students from Turkey. And then before we open up to questions from you, which as Rabia has said, you can put in the chat box and we'll answer those at the end, we'll talk about some entry requirements and how you can get access to our university if it is of interest to you. But some of our most attractive points as a university, why do we stand out? Firstly, we're very well known for student experience and student satisfaction. Again, this year, we were ranked top in Wales, number 1 in Wales, and number 2 in the UK for student satisfaction. But inside the classroom, we're also very well known for our teaching quality. Again, this year, ranked number 1 in Wales for teaching quality and number 3 across all of the universities in the UK. So very happy, satisfied students, both inside the classroom with teaching quality, but also outside of the classroom with the experience they have here at Aber. I mentioned briefly we have an exciting scholarship for accommodation. This is called the International Accommodation Award, and I'll come back to that in a few moments' time. But this offers you the opportunity as an international fee-paying student to have your campus housing at zero cost. Of course, if you are investing in yourself and studies abroad, graduate employability and career prospects will be of great importance to you. And 92% of our graduates are either employed or in further study within 6 months of completing their degree. And something I've touched on so far, the location here at Aber, it's very beautiful. It's very different to the big cities. And I'm excited to show you about where the university is located. The university is one of the 10 oldest in the UK. We were founded in 1872, over 150 years old, and we've been welcoming international students since the 1800s. Looking at rankings across the UK, we are a top 45 UK university, so a well-ranked academic institution. And we focus both on quality of our teaching, but also we're very well known globally for our quality of research, with 98% of our research output at a globally recognized standard. I mentioned we're a bit different from the big cities. Aberystwyth is a smaller student community. Of the 15,000 people that live in the town, 7,000 of them are our students. So almost half the population are university students. It's a student town, a student community, and that means it's very welcoming, very friendly, and very safe, importantly. It's a very safe place in the UK to come and live. In terms of where we are exactly located in the UK, you can see on the map here, Wales highlighted in green, and Aberystwyth are on the west coast of Wales. And when I travel to Turkey, I will fly from Birmingham International Airport that you can see in the center of England there. There is a direct 3-hour train service from Aberystwyth to Birmingham International Airport. And the airport has direct flight routes from Istanbul, from Izmir, and also from Antalya at certain times of the year. So very well connected and easy travel options to Aberystwyth. But in addition to the train journeys, we also offer a free of charge airport pickup service for our new international students from Birmingham Airport. So we suggest that you can book your flights on certain days before the academic year begins, and we will come and greet you at the airport, give you a packed lunch, drive you to university campus accommodation, and help you move into your room. Make sure you are settled, connected to the Wi-Fi, you know where the shops are. It's a very friendly, welcoming experience for you. It can be quite scary moving to a new country for the first time. We appreciate that. Many of us have done it. Many of our team are ex-international students. So there's a huge amount of support for you as new students. Looking at the campus of the university, I like this image here because it shows at the bottom of the screen our academic department buildings and most of our university campus. So this is where you'll be having your classes throughout the week, lectures, seminars, workshops, but also some of our student buildings. The university library, the bottom left-hand side, you can see the sports centre, so the gym and swimming pool and more sports facilities that are accessible to you free of charge as international students living on campus. And also, we are very lucky to have the National Library of Wales on our campus. One of the UK's 6 copyright libraries is here in Aberystwyth, so excellent resources. But at the top of the screen, you can see the town centre and the coastline of Aberystwyth. Just a 10 to 15 minute walk from campus. A smaller location, easier to learn. You don't get lost here. It's a very, very friendly, easy place to get used to as new students. But also you save on travel costs. You don't need to get the bus, a taxi around town. You can typically walk around Aberystwyth. This is a slightly different view, showing still the academic department buildings on the left-hand side, but also some new facilities like the Students' Union, the Arts Centre that has a theatre and a cinema in, and more places to eat as students. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see our campus accommodation, where almost half of the student population at Aberystwyth live throughout the year. You'll notice just how close it is to the academic department buildings. Typically, as a student, you can walk from your bedroom to the classroom within 5 minutes. So when people hear they might have zero cost accommodation, they don't have to pay for their room, they might think that we're locating them an hour away from their classrooms. That is not the case. You're here in the center of campus. But also, it's a very green, spacious, relaxing campus at the same time. So a lot of room for you to unwind and explore as students. I've said a couple of times now about this interesting scholarship we have. We're the only UK university offering zero cost campus accommodation to our international students. And you can see a couple of images on screen here with examples of how the accommodation looks like. The image on the right shows an example bedroom. So you have your own individual bedroom with a single bed, a desk, a wardrobe, and a sink. And with 8 or 9 other international students, you will then share a kitchen and living area, as you can see on the left-hand side, and then some shared bathroom spaces as well. But you have your own private bedroom for each academic year. The inclusive accommodation also includes your bills like water, heating, electricity, Wi-Fi, and as mentioned, even gym and swimming pool membership. Whether you are a postgraduate student coming to study with us for 1 academic year, so 50 or 51 weeks, where you have that room booked for the entire time and you don't need to move out over holiday breaks, or whether you are an undergraduate or foundation student coming to study with us for 3 or 4 years, you can rebook this accommodation for each academic year. So it does create a very large saving for you as students. Typically, you will need to pay for your tuition fees in the UK and you will need to pay for your housing fees, but we take care of that housing cost for you. So you can save a lot of money, and hopefully this helps with your budgeting coming towards the UK for study. Looking at student life here in Aberystwyth and how we support you as students, there's a wide range of student services and support. Firstly, we have all of our incoming students assigned a personal tutor for the duration of their academic program. So a member of teaching staff from your department that you can meet with on a regular basis to discuss any problems or concerns that you have both inside and outside of the classroom. But we also have some amazing support teams here, such as financial advice, well-being teams that can support you with any mental health concerns that you have, but also a brilliant visa advice team, which is led by Rosa, our member of staff, who ends up knowing on a personal basis the vast majority of our international students. Being a smaller university, there is a lot more support to you, and you feel like you are known on an individual level. You can always get face-to-face conversations with staff members when you need it. So there's a lot of support here, but also on a medical well-being side, looking at healthcare, we have a doctor's surgery just across from campus where you can register for any doctor's appointments, but also the town hospital is just next to campus as well. So for healthcare, you are very well looked after here. I mentioned our high employability rates, 92%. The careers service team here at ABBA offer you one-to-one support as students, both during your academic program, but then even after you have graduated. They will sit and help you improve your LinkedIn profiles, your CV, support you with job applications, finding the right opportunities, whether that's going into a career or whether you're looking at a year in industry across some of our academic programs. And they will also help support with mock interviews. An interview can be a very new thing for a student, and you can book times for 30 minutes or an hour to have a mock interview with a member of the careers team. but also in looking at career support of how you're developed at Aberystwyth and a UK university. There is a lot of focus on developing your soft skills, which help make you more employable. So many of our modules and courses here, there is a focus both on public speaking for students to gain more confidence in moving into a career, but also importantly within teamwork as well. A lot of our modules, especially during years 1 and years 2, there could be an element where you're assessed based on a group project or a group presentation. So teamwork is a very important factor. Also looking at student experience, at Aberystwyth we have over 150 different clubs and societies across sporting interests, book clubs, music clubs. There's a huge range for students to get involved with. I will often be asked about part-time work opportunities as well. And luckily with Aberystwyth being a tourist town, there's not just opportunity here to get part-time employment on campus, but also in the main town of Aberystwyth, there's a huge range of hotels, shops, restaurants and cafes that hire student staff throughout the year. So there is good opportunity to work up to 20 hours per week that you are permitted on a UK student visa. Now, on screen, and hopefully you can see this, depending on if you're joining on a laptop or on a phone, it might be quite small text, but hopefully you can read now the range of subject areas that we teach here at Aberystwyth. Most of these across foundation level, across bachelor's level, and also many have postgraduate teaching and research options within them as well. But some of our most popular courses, firstly, accounting and finance. In recent years, we've been ranked top 5 in the UK for accounting and finance. 2022, we were ranked number 4 across the UK. We have some excellent bachelor's schemes accredited by ACCA that help our students progress into careers within accountancy. Also, agriculture and animal science, which has been a popular subject area for many of our Turkish students. We were ranked number 1 in the UK for agriculture and animal sciences. Being a rural Welsh university, we own a lot of farmland in the surrounding area and a wide variety of livestock as well. So we help certainly attract some key researchers in these subject areas, which really helps shape our teaching. And in recent years, we opened Wales's first veterinary science school. That was actually opened by King Charles, who was an alumni of the university. He studied here for a semester and he came to open up our veterinary science school. So that was really special. Business and management, a popular subject area, which I'll come on to in the next slide to show you in detail the range of courses that we have. Law and criminology, we have a range of LLB programs, including business law, criminal law, human rights law that you can specialize in as an LLB student, but also for graduate students. If you've graduated in a law bachelor's, we have 1-year LLM programs such as international commercial law. If you've already graduated a degree program in a different subject area but want to move into a career in law, we have a 2-year senior status law bachelor's, which you can access if you have graduated from a bachelor's already. Politics and international relations is a subject area that we're very well known for. We had the first academic department in the world to specialize in international politics. And we even have some exchange agreements with Turkish universities. I know when I was with the SIUK team at the fair in Ankara, we had some students come who, I think it was Bilkent University, who we have an exchange agreement with, specifically in international politics. One of their leading professors was an international relations alumni from Aberystwyth University. So this is a very strong subject area for us. But the business school, which we see a large amount of interest from Turkish students for, undergraduate programs, we have options across accounting and finance, business and management, digital marketing as a few examples, but also for students who have completed 3 years already of study within a Turkish university, for example, and want to do a top-up program in the UK. You could look at a 1-year course in accounting and finance or business and management. Postgraduate programs, we have 1-year options with MSCs like international business management, international finance, but also a new suite of MBA programs, which I'll show you on the next slide. We still have availability for our January intake for these MBA courses, but also MSc Engineering Management and Product Innovation and Entrepreneurship. But our new and popular MBA schemes that we've been running for a couple of years now, we have our general MBA program shown at the top there that doesn't require work experience from students. If you have recently graduated from an undergraduate degree, you can apply for the 1-year MBA program. If you are interested in any of the specialized courses shown there, those MBAs require at least 2 years of relevant work experience, so you would need to upload a CV, but we still have availability for these courses in January.
This part is really crucial, I guess, because most of the UK universities requires more than 3 years work experience, and who has just recently graduated, it's really a key option for them to apply for the MBA courses.
Yeah, it's we see a good mixture for the general MBA. Most students, I think, that we recruit will still have some work experience, but a smaller portion do come in with no work experience directly from their undergraduate degree. So I think those students actually really benefit from still being amongst a pool of professional students who've got 5 to 10 years of managerial level work experience and a lot of business experience that can help sort of guide these students in addition to all the lecturing staff. So I think the students who come without any work experience, they do gain a lot from their peers on the course. But yes, accessible without work experience, and I'll come on to entry requirements, but those MBA programs as well, they just need an IELTS score of 6.0 to access, when often as well it's a 6.5 for an MBA. Yeah. I'll touch on our computer science programs as well before we look at tuition costs and entry requirements. With computer science, we have a lot of different schemes offered both at bachelor's and postgraduate level. All of our undergraduate courses you can see on the left-hand side, they have the option of an integrated year in industry. So between academic years 2 and 3, you can find a paid work placement around the UK, sometimes even around Europe, and we've had students go to the United States for their year in industry. And there's a huge amount of support from the computer science department in finding those year in industry options. And the vast majority of students are successful in gaining good year in industry placements. The department, firstly across our wide alumni network, but also the research that the university conducts out of its 4 main computer science research groups, we're very well connected to help place students. And one of our research groups in intelligent robotics, they were showing some of our visiting partners around the facilities last week. And one of the best research projects they have at the moment is in partnership with the European Space Agency and NASA, working on the ExoMars rover project. And Aberystwyth University professors are developing the cameras and sensors that are going on top of this robot that's being sent by NASA up to Mars in 2028. And our sensors and cameras are there to find signs of water on Mars, which typically with water is where you will find signs of life. So that question about, is there life on Mars? Aberystwyth University professors are right in the middle of that at the moment. And they were even explaining that some of our current 3rd year bachelor's and postgraduate students are involved with this project. So best performing students have the opportunity to work on some really high level research projects that the university is involved with. So computer science at Aber certainly very strong. At postgraduate level, we see many students wanting to move into a career in IT at the moment who've graduated in a different subject area. We have an MSc computer science course that allows students to convert into computer science for just a 1-year program. But also we have 1-year MScs in artificial intelligence, in data science, and even for our January intake, we still have availability in that MSc advanced computer science for students who already have a strong computer science background at undergraduate level. And those courses beginning in January, they have options for integrated summer placements or an entire year in industry after students have graduated. So very strong employability focus within the computer science department. Now, told you a bit about the university, the accommodation, the setting, the courses. I'm sure a question on your minds is how much does this all cost? You've seen already that we have the inclusive accommodation, zero cost. Looking at tuition fees, firstly for the January courses I've mentioned, MBAs, Advanced Computer Science, MSc Engineering Management, fees typically range from £18,800 to £19,300. But for any Turkish students applying with the SI UK team, we can offer a £2,000 tuition fee discount to you. So that would bring an MBA tuition fee cost down to under £17,000, including your campus accommodation. Entire year. Yes. MSc Advanced Computer Science, applying with SI UK would bring the fees down to just over £17,000, including your accommodation. For MSc Engineering Management, Product Innovation and Entrepreneurship, we have a £3,000 scholarship available. So that would bring your fees down to just over £16,000. But our larger intake next September, which has both postgraduate and undergraduate students joining. The undergraduate students looking at courses such as accounting, law, business, international relations, I mentioned we're popular for. Those are within our arts and social sciences tuition fees. That £18,170 would come down to £16,170. And that £2,000 discount is applied for every academic year. And you can reapply for the zero cost accommodation every academic year. And we will make sure to share firstly the slides, but also links to our tuition costs to anybody who's registered for the event today. But hopefully you can assess that with the zero cost accommodation and then very reasonable tuition fees for a top 45 UK university. Hopefully this will be an option for you to budget for the UK to come and study here. Lastly, before we open the floor up to questions, I'll just touch on entry requirements if you are interested in coming to study here at Aber. Now, to gain direct access to a 3-year undergraduate bachelor's program with us, you will need to have scored at least 70% in Turkish diploma from your high school, but also proving English language level, IELTS of 6.0 for any courses in business and computer science, and an IELTS of 6.5 for any courses outside of business and computer science. If you're studying international baccalaureate, typically you'll need a score of between 26 to 30, and your English score in IB can be used to meet our English language levels. But we also have entry levels shown for if you're studying American curriculum, British curriculum with A levels, that would be shown in your offer letter. If you don't meet the requirements for direct entry, we could offer you a 4-year bachelor's program. So we have an integrated foundation here at Aberystwyth, where you're with the same academic department, the same lecturing staff for 4 years of study, You don't need to do your foundation in one city and then move to go to your bachelor's degree. We teach foundations here at Aberystwyth. If you are a student who needs to improve their English language level, we have special international foundation certificates that teach you both in English and academics for 1 year, again here on campus, before you move into a 3-year undergraduate program. For students who are completing their undergraduate studies this year or have already graduated from their undergraduate studies, we would require a score in your bachelor's diploma between 2.2 to 2.7 GPA, depending on the university that you have studied at. And we have a list on our web pages to show whether you would be needing a 2.2 or a 2.7. But of course, the SI UK team are there to advise you and can let you know if you have met the requirements, and will be able to submit an application to the university.
I have a question at that time.
Please.
Do you accept MOI from any Turkish universities for English wave?
We can look to accept MOI from the couple of institutions that we have study abroad partnerships with. So that is something we can certainly have discussions about for students from those universities. But typically, we will need students to either sit the IELTS exam, or we have students submitting Oxford's online ELLT option, which can be a bit more cost effective for students. Yeah.
Yes. We will also have our discount code for ELLT exam.
Absolutely. We have the discount code for the ELLT, and any students who sit the Oxford ELLT and then choose to come to study at Aberystwyth, we would deduct the cost that you have paid on the ELLT from your remaining tuition fees. So we would then make the program, that English language test, effectively at zero cost for you. Yeah. But I appreciate everybody's time listening to me there for nearly 30 minutes. Thank you for bearing with me, and I hope you found some of that information useful about Aberystwyth University. I hope you see it as an attractive option for you to come and choose as your UK study destination. If I would stop sharing screen now, and I will come back into the chat room, see if there are any questions that I can help answer in the chat box.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was really crucial for us because you have January intake, you have zero cost accommodation, and you have still minimum £2,000 discount, and they will just have 18,000 maybe for no work experience for the MBA courses. These are the really crucial options for Turkish students, I guess, when we look at the demand coming from them. So I hope we will still have more students for the Aberystwyth.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's start the Q&A session.
We for the January students in particular, we have applications open until December 13th. So any students interested in those MBAs, MSc Advanced Computer Science, then speak with the SI UK team, and then they can help you put an application together still in time for our January intake. Our accommodation booking portal opened 2 weeks ago. So we now have all of our students who've paid deposit, logging in, booking their room, signing their contract for the whole academic year. So that's one of the good things about that accommodation award as well. Coming to the UK can be stressful for finding accommodation, but the majority of our students who are joining us in January, they already have their room signed. They know they're in Block J, room 16. They can relax. They've got their accommodation sorted. So it takes away a lot of the headache and stress for that.
Especially for the most popular destinations in UK. It's really crucial for us. Actually, I just forgot to tell that you accept direct applications for the undergrad students as well. They do not need to go on UCAS and apply from there. They just come and visit the website and apply online.
Yes, yes. Students can apply for undergraduate both via UCAS or directly, like you say, online at zero cost. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we can start with our first question from Ahmet. Is it possible to apply without taking IELTS and get conditional acceptance?
Yes, yes, indeed. Many of our students who are applying for study in 2025, they either haven't finished their academic qualifications or they haven't quite finished their English language qualifications or sat an exam. So if you are missing any of those areas, you would have a condition on your offer letter that you then have time to meet. So with the IELTS as an example, as long as you provide the IELTS up to our CAS issuance deadline, which is typically a few weeks before courses begin at the university, then yes, that is okay. You can receive your conditional offer, know the IELTS score that you need to get and work towards, and the SIUK team can help you in finding a test for that. Yeah.
As Jack previously mentioned, you don't need to just take the IELTS. Also, you will have ELLT online exam option, and you will just receive the results in 48 hours.
Yeah, ELLT is fast. It's well priced, and as mentioned, we can then discount that cost off of your tuition fees if you come to Aberystwyth University. So good options for English language testing.
We can move on our second question.
I can't. Maybe it's my experience with technology, and I can't see how to move questions.
Okay. Actually, I don't have permission to do that, but team should make that.
I'm gonna start clicking some things and just seeing what.
Let me ask my question, Jack.
Please, yeah.
As you mentioned, you accept ELLT exam. What about the Oxford International's online professional courses?
Yes.
They offer that, and
yes.
some private tutorials for students who cannot take the required English score.
Yeah, absolutely. We are putting together with Oxford now our range of pre-sessional courses to help students get to September 2025 programs. So we will have those shared on our website shortly. But yes, like you say, all of those pre-sessional options with Oxford online can lead into a course with us. We also teach pre-sessional programs here on campus at Aberystwyth. So if a student wants to come and get used to the campus, the university, and whilst doing their pre-sessional English teaching, then they are welcome to come to Aberystwyth for that as well.
Great. Also, you have zero cost accommodation, and they will still need to show the living expenses in their financial documents while they are applying for the UK visa, right? Maybe it will be so important for the January start students because they will not have long time to put the money and wait 28 consecutive days. Maybe we can also mention that side.
Yes, yes. Even though you will be getting zero cost accommodation, you will need to prove what's moving up to £10,200 for the UK VI living expenses. This is the amount of money that you need to prove to get your visa, but because of the zero cost housing, you're not going to be spending that much in Aberystwyth unless you are living a crazy lifestyle, because no rent to pay, no bills to pay, and you just need to cover your food expenses and any social costs. And Aberystwyth this year as well was voted one of the top 5 cheapest student locations. So very cost effective, but you still need to prove that funding for your visa. There is still just about time to move funds if you do need to start maturing that financial funding for 28 days. So certainly speak with the SI UK team about how to get that prepared so that you can submit an application and work towards getting your financial evidence ready to then apply for your visa. Yeah.
And you mentioned a year in industry for some master courses. Will they pay for that, or the tuition fee will cover?
The year in industry, there is a smaller fee for that. So you don't pay your usual tuition fees of between 16 to 18,000 pounds. The cost for that year is 1,800 pounds. There is still access. You still have your personal tutor throughout that year. So there is a lot of continuing support and meetings that you have. So there is a small cost for the students in that sense. But the majority of students are finding placements that are paid work placements. So you more than cover that small expense in what they might be earning. And some students really, they get some valuable career and work experience. One of our popular undergraduate courses in computer science, in computer graphics and gaming, a student recently did their year in industry working with Nintendo, who was on that course. And then following their final year at the university, they then secured a job at Nintendo off of the back of doing that year's work placement. So it really helps you get kind of what you'd say your foot in the door with a company to get that crucial experience, make contacts, and it leads you well into your employment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What is the average cost of living in Aberystwyth for a student, including accommodation, food, or transportation?
The average cost there.
Yeah, of living.
Okay. Yeah, this is such a tough question. It really is. So we've mentioned accommodation being zero cost. You don't need to pay for your room, your water, your heating, gym membership, none of that. You don't need to pay for it. So it's what you're paying for your food. And we have the big chain supermarkets here in Aberystwyth. Lidl, for example, is the most popular. I'll see some of our Turkish students there shopping in Lidl. It's very cheap groceries. I mentioned you can walk around Aberystwyth very easily. So you don't need to be getting bus tickets or taxi journeys, Uber every day. It's very cheap to get around in Aberystwyth. If you're living on campus, you get access to the washing facilities here. So washing machines, drying, that will typically cost you £3 a wash. So you might have 1 or 2 washes a week to factor in. But costs are very low weekly expenses. Traveling even to and from Birmingham International Airport to get flights. We do that free of charge airport pickup service for you. If you wanted to book a return train journey, you can get back to the airport for about £20. There's a National Express coach that leaves from our bus stop on campus, goes all the way to London Victoria every single day, and to and from London Victoria. It's a long journey. It takes about 7 hours, but you can get that for very cheap. Some of my friends, some of our students, they've booked tickets for £10 to get to London.
Really?
Yeah. I booked, one of my partners was visiting from London, and I booked a ticket for them last minute, like the 2 days before. It cost £20 to get from London to Aberystwyth. Very, very cheap. So yeah, affordability is a strength here at Aberystwyth. Yeah.
Okay, great. What about the pre-sessional courses? Do you have any short-term pre-sessional courses for students who are preparing for the IELTS?
The shortest period that we have is 6 weeks. So that is our shortest pre-sessional course. And once we have the range decided with Oxford ELLT Oxford Digital for September, I'll make sure to share those details with you. But typically they range from 6 weeks up to 30-week programs, depending on how much English support the students do need. And with Oxford, we have a set of materials that we can provide for students in advance of sitting the ELLT exam as well, for example. So there is a lot of support available to students.
Great. I cannot see any other questions for now, but guys, if you have any question for specific Aberystwyth or studying in the UK, you can still come and visit us as SIUK Turkey, and we will also have all the information for applying visa processes or accommodation. If you will choose Aberystwyth, you do not need to anything about the accommodation. Yes, we have one more question.
You can say the name, so you can say the name perfectly now, Rabia. Yeah.
Yes, I just studied my lesson. Does the university offer job placement or career services for the students after graduation? We just mentioned in the
during, yeah. So the careers team here, that service they provide is not only for students whilst they're living in Aberystwyth and here on campus. They do continue to support our graduate students in finding job placements even after they've completed their degree. So really important and popular at the moment is the graduate route visa for students, that additional 2 years that you can live in the UK after completing your degree program without having a job necessarily lined up during that time. So for some of these students who aren't going directly from their degree program into work, many of them are continuing to use the careers service because they've got that 2-year period to find a job that will hopefully sponsor them for a skilled worker visa, for example. So yes, that supports by no means stops after graduation. I think with the university, one of the reasons our employability rates are high is just because over the long time that we've been in existence, that we've developed a very extensive alumni network, but also with all the research that each academic department does, there are a lot of sort of corporate links that we can access and reach out to help our students find job placements. So yeah, careers side, certainly strong at ABBA. I mentioned the personal sort of touch and approach. The careers service team are just in the building opposite our international team, and I'll regularly see our students, walking by the office and going in to meet in these one-on-one meetings with the careers team. It's not setting up Zoom meetings, phone calls, just text chats. You will have an advisor who works with you throughout your time here to help maximize your employment potential.
I guess the questions finalized. Thank you so much for your time today. It was really informative and clear process for understanding the Aberystwyth application and scholarship site processes. Let's turn back to Turkish for closing.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Webinarımıza katıldığınız için her birinize çok çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Birleşik Krallık Resmi Başvuru Merkezi SIUK Türkiye olarak Birleşik Krallık'ta eğitim alma planınız varsa ya da herhangi bir üniversite araştırıyorsunuz, özellikle Aberystwyth'te Zero Cost Accommodation detaylı konuştuk. Yani herhangi bir konaklama ücreti ödemeden ekstra okul ücretini de 2000'den 3000 pound'a kadar bir burs alarak aslında çok çok uygun bir maliyette Birleşik Krallık eğitiminizi Galler bölgesinde alabilirsiniz. Hem Aberystwyth tarafında hem de farklı araştırdığınız herhangi bir Birleşik Krallık Üniversitesi için süreçte bize hem sosyal medya kanallarımızdan hem web sitemizden hem de ofislerimizi arayarak ulaşabilirsiniz. Bugünkü webinarımıza katıldığınız için ve zaman ayırdığınız için her birinize çok teşekkür ederiz. Have a great day. Jack, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Hope to see you in Aberystwyth.